Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to another video on Starseed Academy. My name is Jenny. Thank you so much for joining me again. So if it looks a little bit dark in this video, I apologize. The power has been out since Tuesday and it's Friday. There was a massive storm and all of these trees fell down onto the power lines all around our neighborhood. So still dealing with that. So going without power has been really interesting and fun, trying to find ways to, entertain yourselves. And I don't know, everything without power is different. So it's been a really interesting ride. So yes, I'll do my best to edit this to look as bright as possible, but just bear with me for however long it takes for this power to come back on. So I'm filming this on Friday, which is the 29th, so very, very close to November 1st, and that's what I actually want to talk about today. This is a November energy report for the Starseed Collective. So I hope that wherever you are in the world, you are warm and cozy and ready to take in some really interesting tidbits, energy, facts, information, some really great details about November that came through for this video. I want to also remind you to please like this video, give it a thumbs up, share this video for other starseeds to find, and then of course subscribe to the channel for new videos every Sunday and Wednesday. Okay, so we're going to jump right in. The first thing that I want to say is that I was right before this video, I meditated on this, I pulled down some information from Source about November, and what I actually saw is the information that I was pulling down was actually going to go from November, December, and January. And I have three main points, and I think that they actually align to those months. Now, of course, you are on your own timeline, and so it might not be exact, but I did see like November, December, January. So over the next 3 months, this video will apply. Okay, so the first point that came through was wrapping things up. So that's really going to be happening before the end of the year for you. So wrapping things up, specifically karmic cycles. So karma exists between you and other people, but it also exists between you and other open situations in your life. So I'm thinking your work, your job, your career for sure. There's karma in everything that you put your energy into, especially with something like work where you spend so much time, right? You are at the job that you're at because of the level that you're at. Okay, so the amount of lessons that you've worked through, the amount of healing that you've done, the amount of unloading that you've done for things that are on top of you. So you can view yourself, this is what your heart chakra looks like, but this is also a great visual for you, the soul, and your life. You have the purity in the center, like your soul is like the white light at the center. Your heart is that beautiful white light at the center. And then everything, all of the hardened layers around that are layers of trauma, pain, things that need healing, lessons that need learning, all of these layers. And really, your truth, what lies at the center, is not something that you need to go out and find. It's not something that you need to remember. It's not even really something that you need to learn. It's already there, everything that you need within you at the very center. But surrounding you, all of those heavy layers are from this life, from your childhood, and from other lifetimes. And so we are here to clear and unload or break away as much of that as possible. Karmic layers, energetic layers, heavy buildup, blocks, density, it all lays on top of you. If you've ever experienced something like anxiety or depression before, it's the perfect example as well. It lays on top of you like a blanket, but you're still underneath. And so it's removing that off of you. Your joy always exists at the center of your being. We exist naturally, like Gaia does, with a quiet joy. That's the Schumann resonance, like a quiet, content hum that the planet is always making. We have a quiet joy. And we find that in pure presence, when you're fully present in the moment, okay? And what you've layered on top of that, and this is the karmic cycles, the lessons, the lifetimes, a lot in this lifetime too, is all the things that if you can remove, you'll find your center, your peace, your prosperity, your power, yourself again. So karmic cycles have happening in every area of your life, in all of your friendships, your relationships, your job, your bank account. That's karma. It is. And that doesn't mean that if you're struggling financially, you're a bad person. Karma isn't about being a good person or a bad person. It's simply about learning lessons. As soon as you see it, you get it, then it dissipates. Like for me with abundance, as soon as I realized where all of my lack mentality was hiding, that was enough. The realization and the acknowledgement and to just see something is often enough to clear it. And I started to really see it. An example for you about how to lift these layers off of your soul, how to see things. So if we're using abundance as an example, I saw where lack mentality was still existing in my life. And it was in me believing that I didn't have enough time, right? Like always rushing around, like I don't have enough time to, walk the dog or play with my pet or have time for myself to meditate. Like I don't have enough time for like maybe what I was considering like the luxuries of life. And that was lack mentality. And as soon as I just made the time, yes, I'm going to go for a long, like relaxed walk. I'm not going to rush through it. I'm going to go for a beautiful walk. And I'm going to be present, and I'm not going to let my mind think about all the things that I don't have time for. I'm going to play with my cat that extra, 10 minutes or whatever. It means so much to him, and I'm going to be present in that when I do it. I'm going to make the time to make a beautiful meal. If I decide that I have the time will appear. And that always is the truth. As soon as you decide that you do have enough time and you just do it anyway, time stretches out. That's abundance. And the opposite is lack mentality. And that's all. Abundance is not just about your bank account. Abundance is about enjoying your life. It's about how much presence, how much love, how much time, how much like goodness, good feelings, beautiful food, feeling happy. That's all abundance. It's all connected. So if you can, remove the lack mentality from any area of your life, you will see results in all of the areas, including your bank account. And that definitely came through for me as well. So yes, these are all karmic cycles. So this point is about wrapping up things. That means the next point is define the lesson. You need to define in each area of your life that we mentioned, what is the lesson there that's stopping you from moving forward? Because only you can get it. Somebody else can try to show it to you a million ways. You won't get it until you really see it. Like I said, when I finally saw the lack mentality, that was a karmic cycle, a karmic lesson holding me back. And I'm like, why can't I open to the flow of abundance? Why do I feel like lack still exists in my life? Why can't I, unplug from lack mentality? And then I thought, and I really felt and saw it, that it was the belief that I didn't have enough time and me not living in the presence. Presence is richness. It's abundance. So define what your lesson is. In your work, define what is the karmic lesson here? Because I would not be here if there was nothing left to learn. Once you've learned it all, you will move on. And that is the same with a relationship. When there's nothing left to learn or teach each other, it tends to kind of dissipate or evaporate. And that's why it's really important to have friends or romantic partners that are growing with you so that it can continue on and on and on. If that's not the case and the growth isn't the same on both ends, then you run out of things to learn from that person or teach that person, and then the relationship dissolves, right? So if you are in a relationship still, a friendship, a job, any situation in your life at all, it's because there is still something that you are either teaching or learning. Define the lesson. Wrap up the karmic cycles that aren't serving you. If you're not happy in your job, define what is the lesson here. Am I learning about lack mentality, patience, coexisting with maybe your coworkers aren't like you, like all kinds of different personalities, and learning about that, about how to still feel like you fit in without having to mold to their personality while still remaining true to who you are. There's a lot of things that could be happening in your workplace that you are learning from. Define what the lesson is and decide that you understand it and you receive it, open up to the answer so that you can move on. So that all exists within the first point, wrapping things up. Those karmic cycles, define those lessons, okay? So that is going to take you, like, I see that in November, maybe in December if you don't get the lessons, Maybe you'll carry on till the end of the year, but really try to wrap these things up before the end of the year so that you can have some fresh energy for 2022. Crazy that that's the year. Okay, then second main point now, leaping into the unknown. Okay, so again, this could be November for you. It could be December. It could be January. Like I said at the beginning, this kind of seems like a 3-month reading. So maybe I should just actually title the video that. And if I do, you'll see that in the thumbnail. Because I think it's more than November, because there's a lot here. These are 3 big main energetic lessons and points. Okay, so leaping into the unknown. So at what month are you going to hit this? Are you already starting to feel that? I definitely feel that. I feel like I've really moved through wrapping things up, and I've done a lot of leaping, but I have a feeling that I've got some more leaping into the unknown to do. And that's exciting. And the first point for this is learning to work with your ego. Okay, so you can't be in resistance to your ego. It is a built-in part of the human, and it's really important to get along with your ego and think of it as, I think of it as like a sweet child. It's very young in its thinking. It's very youthful. It gets scared really easily. It gets excited really easily. It gets defensive really easily. It's like a child, right? And to work with your ego and not against your ego is so powerful, and you will get so much further. You will find your flow so much easier. So if you're trying to leap into the unknown and your ego is pushing back, and then you push back and it turns into a battle, not much leaping is going to be happening. But if you learn to work with your ego, learn how to talk to your ego, learn how to soothe your ego. What does it need to feel better? How can you help it to grow? Your ego can grow. It also has like lessons that it can move through. And if you think back in the last 5, maybe 10 years at where your ego was to where it is now, I think that you'll see that it does grow alongside you. But it does need extra attention and love, and that's okay if it's like a child. Then that's what they need, right? And there's nothing to resent about that. So work with your ego. When you're trying to leap into the unknown and your ego is saying, I don't think so. No, I don't think that's safe. I don't think that's a good idea. Let's just wait a little longer. Let's get a few more signs before we commit to that. I don't just want to leap right now. I want to take maybe one baby step. And meanwhile, the energy is calling for a leap. You've got to learn how to work with your ego, how to soothe it and talk to it and get it on board. Like, get it. I often think of my ego. I think I did like a short video, like a reel about this on Instagram, where you've kind of got to get your ego into the back seat and you're the driver, right? So calm your ego, get it to sit down in the back seat. You take the wheel and drive, and just assure it that you know what you're doing. You may not know where you're going always. I mean, these are what these leaps into the unknown. It's unknown, but you do know what you're doing. Your soul knows. And if you saw the video that came out, I believe on Wednesday, the last video that came out was about signs from your soul and the breadcrumb theory. That really applies here about leaping into the unknown. So make sure that you check that video out. And if you're receiving breadcrumbs, no matter how minuscule they are, and that video will explain this to you, you follow it. Okay, you've got to follow the trail of breadcrumbs. Even when it's so small, you're not even sure it's a trail, you've got to find your ways to follow it. So check out the video, Signs from Your Soul. Okay, so other than learning to work with the ego, another important point to leaping into the unknown is recognizing the magic in your life. When the magic shows up for you, you need to recognize that that is the direction that you need to go in. So, I mean, magic is, it can be those breadcrumbs, those signs from your soul, but it's also like coincidences, right? Are you receiving coincidences in your life right now? Are you receiving signs? Are you having dreams? Are you feeling drawn to something in particular? Like all of a sudden you really start researching something, like you want to take maybe a course in it, you really want to learn about that, go in that direction, leap into the unknown, take the course, take the workshop. If something like some kind of an opportunity comes along and it's super scary, but it's also kind of exciting, that's a beautiful sign to go with it. Stay in movement, stay in flow. You can always adjust on the fly. But when you stop movement, it's really hard to get the momentum going again. So don't stay stagnant for too long. I know that we all take a couple of days of self-care here and there, but don't stay still for too long, because the energy is a lot more powerful if you can stay in movement. Okay, so keep moving, keep making decisions, keep trying new things, just keep going. And it's so much more easy to adjust once you're moving, right? Like think about it like if you're roller skating or riding a bike or something. You can take a turn if you have the movement already. But if you're stopped and then you're trying to it's so much more difficult, right? So it's just a lot easier and smoother if you already have momentum. So keep the momentum. If you feel like it's starting to kind of subside a little bit, try something else. Go deep within. Like when I feel stagnancy, everything gets really quiet. Everything slows down in my life. And that's a sign for me to get going, meditate. What's the next big thing? Is it the next big event for my group, for my members? Is it a course that I can take to continue my own learning? What is it? Is it a course I can teach? Is it a course I can take? Being a student goes both ways, learning and teaching. How can you leap into the unknown right now? What's the very first thing that comes to your mind when I say it's time to make a big leap? That's usually what it is that needs to happen. If you thought, leave my job, that's it, then learn the lesson. Like in the first thing, define what that lesson is and get out of there. This is the energy, November, December, January. This is the period to close down the old, wrap things up, close old doors, and leap forward into new timelines, fully new timelines. Your highest timeline exists. I say this for you all the time. It exists, it's real, it's this beautiful potential, but you have to leap for it. It doesn't just come easily. You got to leap, take a step, get moving, get momentum. Don't give up. Don't, numb yourself out with TV or wine or snacks or whatever. It's fine to have, a little bit of relaxing time every night, but what are you doing every single day to move towards your highest timeline? This is up to you. No one's going to come in and swoop into your life and create a miracle, but you can. You can create a miracle. I feel like I'm living proof of that. Since I started this channel, my whole life has changed so many times over. I have changed so many times over. It's so weird. I kind of love that the old, the very first videos exist so I can look back and be like, wow, that's so amazing how much growth has happened for me. It's available to you too. You could change your whole life in a matter of days, in a matter of weeks, whatever you think is possible, but you have to believe in it. So leap into the unknown, learn to work with your ego, recognize the magic in your life. It's there. Magic is real. It exists on Earth. Yes, Earth is a magical planet. Every planet has a different kind of magic. Earth magic is creation magic. You can learn more about Earth magic in the video called Avalon, which was a time period on Earth when we had a golden era. It was the last golden era before the next one, which is starting to emerge now. So check out the video on this channel called Avalon to learn more about the magic that Earth has to offer and how to utilize it. It's called creation magic. Okay, and then maybe that'll help you recognize it in your life. I guarantee you that there is a part of your life that is magic right now. But you have to recognize it. You have to see it. You have to put your attention on it to help it to grow. What is the last sign that you received? What last coincidence? Coincidences are magic. They are the way that the universe talks to you. How is your team communicating with you? How is God or Source communicating with you? How is your higher self communicating with you? They are always communicating with you. But it's up to you to hear it, see it, understand it. Where's the conversation happening? Is it in the coincidences? Is it in the angel numbers? Is it in the relationships in your life, like friendships or romantic partners or family, saying and giving you exactly what you need right now to move forward? People are magic. And often our guides, our higher selves will talk through other people, through music, through books, through anything. Your whole life is one big conversation. That's all it is. It's a giant conversation about lots of different lessons. And as you define the lessons, you move up and up and up. You shed the layers. You become more of your true self. You move into your highest timeline where all of the joy, love, abundance, and goodness exists. All the good. Okay, the third big point, which could be happening now. We're all at different places, but this is going to be November, December, January, right in that. Like this is the most exciting one, okay? New soul traits unlocked. So exciting because it's within you. Like, okay, all of your personality has not been unlocked. Your soul outside of this incarnation has a personality. You have traits and a personality. Yes, you do. It's not just the human. It's not the human at all. The human is an empty shell, a beautiful temple, a blessing to live in while you're here on earth so you can have a third dimensional experience, because you're not a third dimensional being. You're a soul, which is the highest frequency that there is. It's source, okay? You have a personality. It is not fully revealed right now within this lifetime. But as you shed those layers of those lessons, pain, trauma, start with your childhood. I know I say that a lot, but start with your childhood because it is the doorway to healing your past lives. If you heal your childhood and you go back and you do it again and again, like it takes work. Are you doing the work? Move through those feelings, move into forgiveness and compassion. Let it go. Move on, move through the door, and then past lives will start to arrive to be healed. And the more healing that you do, the more, and not just healing, but the more lessons that you recognize, the more lessons that you define in your life and see them and start like putting the pieces together in your life. Like, oh, that's why I ran into that person. Oh, that's what that relationship taught me. Oh, I'm so grateful. Even if it was a horrible thing. Oh, I'm so grateful because I needed that lesson or it wouldn't have happened. And now I don't have to learn that again. I can move on. What's the next lesson? Move through the lessons. Start moving through them. Become that really like A+ student of the universe, to shed all of those layers to reveal your full personality. It will become more and more revealed and evident, and you will glow brighter and brighter and brighter. And just think about like all of these facets of your personality that are hiding underneath things like doubt, self-doubt, fear, stress, of course, of the human condition. It's all stress, it feels like. Worry, maybe depression, anxiety, sadness. It covers up your personality. And you're magnetic underneath all of that. Like, oh, I got chills when I said that down my legs. You are magnetic. Your full personality, when revealed, will move mountains. You're this magnetic, magical, bright, angelic kind of soul. There's so much that you have to give and offer. And people are just drawn to that light. And you see it in other people. You see when they start to grow and they get brighter and brighter and brighter, and people are drawn to them, to that magnetism. That's your soul's full personality. And you are now unlocking those soul traits. As you are moving through the wrapping things up, which was the first point, which was karmic cycles, defining the lesson. And then the second point, leaping into the unknown, taking risks, learning to work with your ego, recognizing the magic in your life, doing all of those things brings us into the third point, which is new soul traits unlocked, all of your personality, your fullness of self. And the further you move down your spiritual path, the more lessons that you move through, the more that you unload or remove those layers. I also sometimes think of it, like I said to you before, it was like the soul in the center and then all these layers on top that need to be removed. You can also view it, and I see a lot of people's heart chakras look like this, a rose that's closed up. And each lesson that you learn, another petal lays back in a relaxed state until all of the petals open up, and within is that purity of self in the center. So that's another way to view the revealing of your true self and your personality. So here are some of the things that can be revealed. A new level to your sense of humor. Maybe some more softness, gentleness, surrender of the divine feminine. Maybe some more confidence, direction, power of the divine masculine. Maybe different interests that you haven't ever had before, that you remember having in your life. All of a sudden you have these new interests. Maybe knowledge, all of a sudden feeling like it's coming out of nowhere. You're just revealing everything that your soul has to offer. Everything that you need and more is within you. Open up that flower of who you are. That's an open heart, right? That's why I always say it's so important for you to live with an open heart, because open heart living means that you refuse to close up over anything. Like no matter how hard something hits, no matter how much it hurts, no matter how uncomfortable you get, no matter how stressed out you get, you just keep saying, I'm staying open to this. Yes, it's hard and I'm acknowledging that. Yes, I'm crying or I'm angry or whatever. I'm staying open. I'm staying open. I'll like whisper that to myself sometimes in really hard spots, like stay open, stay open, stay open. Don't close up over this. It's not worth it. It's never going to be worth it. To shut down your power and your energy and your light, it's never worth it. Okay, so maybe you'll start to see new interests, but also some new gifts. Along with that new knowledge, you might reveal new gifts, soul gifts that you are a part of who you are, hard-won things that you have gained over lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes, hundreds, maybe thousands, maybe more. How many lifetimes have you lived? How much do you think you know? You can move through these earth lessons easily in a snap once you set your mind to it. Define what the lesson is. Why is it still existing? It's, you know, when people are not moving through lessons is when they're escaping, I find. Because as soon as you put your mind to it, movement starts again, momentum starts again. It's when you're too tired to care. Oh my God, I'm just so tired. I just want to relax tonight. I just want to watch some TV or scroll on my phone. That's a big one, right? Make sure you're not wasting all of your time on that. Time that you could be spending defining the lessons, to wrap things up, to leap into the unknown, to recognize the magic in your life, to learn to work with your ego, to unlock your soul's personality. Once you fully unlock your soul's personality and you are just brightly glowing and magnetic, it'll be a magic life. I mean, that's such a highest timeline experience. And your magic, it's so easy for you then to manifest, right? You're like, oh, I saw something and I want it. And then you just instantly create it. It's a whole other way of living. That's heaven on earth. That's the potential. That's the highest potential that you can have as a human. The highest way of living. So, I mean, so this is the reading for November, December, January, the energy report. Where are you at? So this is a really good self-awareness exercise. What of the three, the wrapping things up, the leaping into the unknown, or new soul traits being unlocked, where are you? I feel like I'm in between 2 and 3 right now. Like I've done some leaping. I've done a lot of leaping. I mean, I just left an old timeline and an entire lifetime behind, sold everything, all my stuff in my car and everything, you know, got out of my lease, left Canada and moved to the US, and I'm starting fresh. That's a huge leap into the unknown, right? But I do feel like I have a little bit more, like something within, like undefinable is telling me there's a little bit more unknown leaping that's going to happen before some of these new soul traits are going to be unlocked. Though I do feel them, especially that gentleness, that softness, that moving more into the divine feminine ever since I did the first leap. I'm really excited to see what new leaps are available to me, and I will leap. I will take them. I'm ready. Are you with me? So, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below where you're at. This is going to be a really, really potent and powerful 3 months. I'm very excited for the new year and the new energy. And I feel like the new energy is really going to start maybe in January, but it might take into February, just seeing that this is kind of what I can't wait to get to the third step of the new soul traits unlocked, because I've started to taste a little bit of that, and it's really refreshing to find new facets and sides of myself. I really like that. So move through this with me. And if you need support and assistance, especially in trying to maybe define what the lesson is, if you're really stuck on something, there's a reading that I offer called the Breakthrough Reading. It's really powerful for breaking through any area of your life. So if you're really trying to break out of a job or a relationship, breaking through to the next level, check that out. The links are in the description box below for everything that I offer. There's many services to choose from to work one-on-one with me. I'd love to support you. And also, there's a membership group, which is creating a ton of growth as well. Because when you come together as a community, then growth just exponentially takes over. It's so powerful when there's so many people on the same intention working together. So there's a monthly membership group, the Starseed VIP group, that you could join. And that's just $22 a month. There's one-on-one readings, healing sessions with me that you could do. The breakthrough, I would really suggest if you're trying to move through or define a lesson. And then there's also on my website, you can find all kinds of guided experiences, guided meditations, guided healings, guided astral journeys. They're $22 each, but if you become a member, they're available to you. So, and like I said, the membership rate is $22 a month. So if you do that, then you get all of those guided experiences for free within the membership. So it's a great deal. And then, yes, just comment below, where you're at and what you need. And the community here will support you as well. And everybody kind of chime in and help each other, because this is a really, really big 3-month energetic cycle that's going to be happening, moving through these huge 3 points in those 3 months. So get moving, right? Don't fall behind on this. Just keep that energy moving, keep the momentum going. This is not the time to be escaping into scrolling, video games, I don't know, substances, food, anything. This is really not the time for that. Okay, this is really important next 3 months. Get on your A game. Do whatever you need to do to get there. Get into your spiritual routines. When you wake up, start the day with a meditation. Maybe do some journaling. Do what you can to get back into your momentum. So this is the time. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for joining me on another video on this channel on Starseed Academy. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And of course, before you go, always remember, listen to your heart and the quiet voice within, because you are so much more than the body you are in. I love you. Have a great day, Starseeds. Bye.